they may have to bring some doubles to try to slow down number 52 in white.
Yeah, Thursday was her 7th 20-point game of the season. Started her career at Oregon State before coming to Norman and being a Sooner. And Kentucky controls the opening tip. You mentioned it, the pace of play. Both of these teams are okay getting up the floor and going quickly. Here's Clara Strack with the mid-range off the pick and roll.
Clara Strack.
Oklahoma starting lineup, third game in a row that Raina Scott is getting the start. And we have a foul whistled against Kentucky. Important to note, too, if you saw Oklahoma's last game, Liz Scott was one of 2 players ejected for fighting, so she will not be available for Oklahoma today, and she is not allowed to sit on the bench. Samaya Smith of LSU was also ejected in that game for fighting.
Well, the good part for Oklahoma, even though Liz Scott is not there, there still is plenty of depth. Jenny Baranczyk is not shy about using 9 to 10 players on her team.
Yeah, they're 4th in the nation in bench points per game. Meanwhile, this Kentucky starting 5, these are the main players that you're going to see. Reagan Beers going back the other way, looking to go coast to coast. Got the offensive rebound, but won't get the second chance point.
Out of bounds, last judgment, the Sooners.
All 5 of the Kentucky starters averaging double figures, and they have the 5th most minutes by any lineup. I mean, they rely so much on these 5 that you see on the floor right now in the black and blue jerseys.
But they've played this way all season long, and so they're in shape. They're in condition to go the distance.
Important to note, already Clara Strack has picked up 1 foul. Foul trouble could be a problem. Georgia Amor, sidestep, and the 3.
Couple possessions before, it was the ball screen kick to Strack. That time in the ball screen, she called her own number 3 in black, Georgia Amor.
Reagan Beers in the high post looking for Skylar Van down low. Tiani Key shook it away for a second. And Sahara Williams, this woman worked so hard on her game.
She's just a sophomore, but I love the energy that number 6 in white, Sahara Williams, plays with on both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively. And that energy, her talent is catching up with the tempo of which she plays.
Amelia Hassett in trouble. Skylar Van trying to take the basketball from her. Raina Scott comes out with it.
Everybody talks about Oklahoma on the offensive end, but their defense is pretty tenacious as well.
They've held 18 opponents to under their season average in field goal percentage.
Oklahoma Sooners, number 52.
And there's an offensive foul against Reagan Beers, her first.
Georgia Amor with the step back. It's just so hard to get to. But on the other end, you've got Sahara Williams. That's the offense that the Sooners need.
Oklahoma was in one of the most interesting games we've ever witnessed on Thursday at LSU. I'm trying, you know.
Okay.
How would you describe it?
Well, interesting's a good word. Yeah.
It was wild. We had 2 players ejected. Both coaches got technical fouls. We had over 50 fouls called in the game. But they were down by 24 points and cut it to 1.
Oh, that's nice by Amor.
Georgia Amor.
She can just find a seam in the defense. Amor can. And the way that she handles the basketball, if the defense bites on it, leans one direction, she's going to take you the other.
Sahara Williams will get herself to the free throw line. As you'll notice, Reagan Beers, of course, already out sitting on the bench with that 1 foul. Tiani Key whistled for her first foul for Kentucky.
Sahara Williams, shooting 2.
Williams gets the first. She was an all Big 12 honorable mention selection last year. Started every game. Just a sophomore. You kind of forget how young she is.
I know, but I love how hard Williams plays. Now, defensively, she has the assignment to stay with Deja Lawrence, one of the best 3-point shooters for this Kentucky Wildcat team.
Tiani Key cutting to the basket.
Tiani Key.
Oklahoma works it around. Raina Scott bounces off the iron. Second opportunity for the Sooners. Skylar Vann on the miss.
Now, Peyton Verhulst, number 12 in white. She hasn't gotten a shot yet. Now, that's a deadly three-point shooter for Oklahoma.
She's coming off 26 points against LSU. Clara Strack with buckets for Kentucky. Oklahoma getting second opportunities. There's the first shot from Peyton Verhulst and a bit off to the right.
And Kentucky in a two-man game with Clara Strack. Deja Lawrence penetrating hard in the middle of the floor, and then Strack knows how to cut to the basket to make herself available.
Kenny Brooks taking over this Kentucky program, tied for the best 20-game start in program history. This is a Kentucky team that won 12 games last season. They've already won 18 this year.
That woman right there, Georgia Amore, has a lot to do with it. Georgia Amore decided to come with Kenny Brooks. When you have a point guard experience like that, that helps you build a program.
Verhulst shot blocked. Oklahoma not giving up on the play. Nevaeh Todd was on the floor. Verhulst. Do you like the shots Oklahoma's taking right now?
It's typical shots for Oklahoma. Jenny Baranczyk has no problem. If it's open and that's your spot, pull the trigger. Verhulst is going to shoot it as soon as she gets out of the car. So, yeah, that's a good shot for number 12 in white.
Oklahoma starting 1 for 5 from three-point range. Clara Silva. Pretty shot.
Well, the length that Kentucky has in that ball screen, and to have post players that are over 6'4" that can shoot the face up makes Kentucky dangerous.
And Clara Silva, 6'7". This is Kentucky's tallest team in program history. A 2 from Verhulst. She's still trying to find her first point, starting 0 for 4. And that'll be a foul against Amelia Hassett, her first.
These two teams battling on the glass. Pretty even right now, 5-4, but Oklahoma has 3 offensive rebounds.
So Oklahoma teams are pretty good at rebounding. They're 3rd in the nation in rebounds per game, 3rd in rebounding margin. That means they're out-rebounding their opponents by 14 rebounds a game. Kristen Johnson misses, and Amore's going to push. She gets the outlet.
Oh, good ball movement by Kentucky.
Deja Lawrence in transition.
I'm watching Oklahoma, when they take those threes quick from the perimeter, usually spread out defensively. That leaves the opportunity for them to get the offensive glass.
They've started 1 for 6 from 3 now. Fade away from Verhulst, making a hard shot look easy.
You see, Jenny Baranczyk has 3 players already at the table. I think she's going to keep fresh bodies on the floor because the limited bench that Kentucky has.
Yeah, usually in a game, we're only seeing Kentucky play 7 players. It's very rare that he goes deeper than that.
Yeah, Sanaya Taylor coming off the bench.
Tyler.
She's going to be key. She's a 3-point shooter and a tenacious guard. She's at the scores table now.
Lawrence, little crossover to get to the lane.
Deja Lawrence is a smooth operator.
Transferred in from Charlotte, so you've got her that's got handles. She's 23 years old. Georgia Amore's got handles, and she's 23 years old. A veteran group.
It's important when you take over a program, if you can have veteran guards that are solid and efficient on the offensive end, that's a good start.
10-2 run for Kentucky. Amore calling her old number. She's still holding the follow-through.
Timeout ticket by the Sooners.
Courtney, as a kid, did you ever have a yo-yo?
Yeah, of course I did.
Well, Georgia Amore handles the basketball like it's on a string. She can just go around the world, make that space, knock it down. The handles are tight for number 3, Georgia Amore for Kentucky, and they are in control. We'll have shoot around the night before and put up shots, but also started to cover the scout because he knew none of his players have been here before. So wanted to really get a feel, settle in of what the game was going to be like today.
When you sit down and you look at Oklahoma to get ready, where do you start with this team as Reagan Beers attempts a three?
Well, I start with Reagan Beers, but normally you prepared. Oh, Reagan Beers got away with a kind of shove in the back of Silva. But normally you have to prepare for Reagan Beers in transition, especially because she gets position early in the half court. Then she commands that space. Then you have to cover Peyton Verhulst, who can shoot the three and put your track shoes on, because Oklahoma likes to get up and down the floor.
Big call right there. That is the second foul on Clara Strack, and we're in the first quarter.
That's going to be important. Tiani Key, Amelia Hassett, and Silva really hold it down in the paint, because that's where Oklahoma's going. That's what Oklahoma did in the fourth quarter against LSU and got themselves back into the game.
Oklahoma Sooners, number 24, Skylar Van, her first personal.
First foul whistled against Skylar Van. Yeah, Kentucky, not a very deep team. They only average 11 bench points a game, whereas Oklahoma gets 32 points off of its bench.
But Hassett right here, she's now moved, playing more of the four with Strack in foul trouble.
Hassett is a threat from three, and Clara Silva threw it away.
Yeah, Silva's got to realize she has a height advantage, and if she can get position on Reagan Beers, she's better off that when she gets the ball inside, that's a no-pass zone. She's got to go score it.
Oh, Zaya Vance snuck underneath the basket.
That freshman is special. She's getting more and more confident as this season progresses.
What'd you like about her most in their last game?
She wasn't afraid. With the intensity, the aggressiveness of the LSU defense, she still was in attack mode.
Okay, a little road bounce up off the window from Deja Lawrence.
Zaya Van, little give and go action. If the defense is playing you close, look, you use that against them. Gets the backdoor cut.
First foul against Clara Silva of Kentucky.
I think a mistake that many people make when they're trying to guard Reagan Beers is they try to body up. And the key is, as an offensive player, I'm trying to make a connection, physical connection with you, because then I dictate where I want to go with it. As a defender, you've got to stay off the offense, keep the offense guessing so that she can't get you pinned in the paint. Oklahoma appears to be in a zone.
Kentucky's hit its last 4 shots. And Clara Silva is fouled. She'll have a couple shots coming.
And as soon as she shot that, you saw Georgia Amore go to her center and go, yeah, that's the shot I want you to take, encouraging and building confidence in Silva.
You see Georgia Amore, she was over there talking to the Kentucky coaching staff. Anytime there's a dead ball, she's going to go back and talk to Kenny Brooks. He calls her his mini-me out on the court.
He trusts her so much. And not only is she getting instructions from him, sometimes she's making suggestions to him of what she sees on the floor.
Zahara Williams up against Hassett. Well, there was one game too, right? They were in a 1-on-1 on her, and he didn't realize it. He was like, what defense are there? And she came over and said, Coach, it's a 1-on-1. What do you want to run here?
Well, and a lot of times, because you're watching as a coach so much on the floor, but as a player, I had that with Ukari Figs and Stephanie White. Teams would be in a triangle and 2 when they would come and say, listen, they're not letting me catch. You got to get somebody else involved.
Williams being so aggressive, just can't finish the look. Reagan Beers with the hustle to get the rebound. This will be Kentucky basketball.
That was last touch on the Sooners. Back in for the Sooners, number 12, Peyton Verhulst.
Kentucky is shooting 83% from the field right now.
Well, they're not settling for just the three-point shot. And I think that's a lot of what Oklahoma is. They are 1 for 8 from the three-point line. That was a problem and it allowed LSU to get away from them. But they are very capable of scoring going to the rim.
Hey, Kentucky's got 10 points in the paint right now. And that's their 4th three-pointer they've hit here in the first quarter. Largest lead for the Cats.
Well, that can be a problem for Oklahoma. You've already allowed Kentucky to get into a rhythm, see the ball go through the hoop. So I think changing up the defensive some, you've got to break the rhythm of Kentucky. Amor is able to get the ball into the paint. The defense sinks in. That's leaving the shooters, giving them too much time for the three.
Skylar Vann hits the first free throw. Yeah, Kentucky with those 4 made threes. They average just over 8 a game, so halfway there.
We're just in the first quarter.
We are.
And Reagan Beers 8 for 8 against LSU, yet to hit a field goal tonight.
0 for 3 to start. Amor can't get any room. Covered up by Zaya Vann. 3 seconds. Lawrence, short. And I think Sahara Williams got a hand on it. She's headed the other way. Foul on the floor, no bucket. But Oklahoma in the bonus, so she'll get those free throws. That's the first on Amor.
With the energy, Sahara Williams on the defensive end, contests the shot, then the first one down the floor to get the opportunity to get to the free throw line.
Sahara Williams in double figures here in the first quarter with 10.
You know, after going back and rewatching the LSU game, and we talked about it this morning, the energy that she plays with.
Hassett's got to let it fly from the logo short, but Kentucky comes out and shoots 80% from the field to start this game in their very first trip to Norman. The three-point line.
Well, it does a couple of things. Mental training to be ready to shoot the basketball when you catch it, but because you're trying to make 3 in a row before you can rotate, it's also got the pressure, and then at the end they're trying to make 10 in a row, and you don't want to be that one that misses to make the whole thing start over. So that pressure, the focus, the mental training, I think it's a great drill.
And I think it's paying off because they've started 4 of 8 from 3. Shooting 75%.
Well, it's a reason that Kentucky scores the basketball the way that they do. The preparation has been the work's been put in.
Peyton Verhulst with her second bucket. Oklahoma's coming off a game where it shot over 50% from the field and scored 100 points, but shooting just 30% right now.
I think that biggest problem against LSU was, you know, that game was tough. It was a battle, but they weren't able to make their free throws.
That's going to stay with Oklahoma. Yeah, we saw 63 total free throws attempted in that game, and Oklahoma shot just 68% from the free throw line. They missed 10.
Yeah, they were getting their opportunities, but just not able to finish. If that game was any indication of what the SEC tournament is going to be like, woo, you better buckle up. Get your tickets now.
Watch out, Greenville, South Carolina.
I think the length of Kentucky is giving Oklahoma a little bit of problem, especially in the paint.
Tiana Key back to Georgia Amor. There's Sanaya Tyler in trouble. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Stolen away by Raina Scott. And that's going to be an offensive foul as they say she lowered her shoulder into Amor. Her first.
I think Georgia Amor did. She got both feet down, facing the defender. You can be moving also as a defender. You can be moving backwards. You can even move side to side. You just can't be moving forward. So I think she did a terrific job of establishing defensive position.
Amelia Hassett. Kentucky still has Clara Strack on the bench with 2 fouls. 5 threes, and Amor's got 13 points. She's already hit 3 threes.
Well, with Strack in foul trouble, you have 5 players on the floor that really can shoot the 3. Tioni Key play inside, Hassett can interchange, but that spreads the defense, makes long rotations.
Skylar Van leaves it short on the turnaround. Pull up from Amor.
That's a good box out there by Skylar Van.
Sahara Williams, I thought that might have been a turnover, and she stuck a long arm out there to save it.
That's a player that wants the basketball, and I love it as a post. If you on a post up, when you call for it, if you touch it, you better catch it, and Williams did.
She's got 11. It's the most points since December when she had 18 against New Mexico State. Her season high is 19 against Southern. Excuse me, Williams with 13 now.
Isaiah Van, that's what I liked about her game against LSU. No fear, she could push tempo, she was aggressive to the rim and got that finish.
Amor for 3. She is on fire right now. 4 3-pointers for Georgia Amor.
Did Amor have a little conversation with Skylar Van after that made 3?
Oh.
You know, here we go now. I think Oklahoma's getting settled in this second quarter.
Amor's got 16 points right now.
Oklahoma had just come down to score, and then Amor just finds it, then replaces the step back. That's just beautiful.
First foul was whistled against Sahara Williams. Look, we've shown you what Georgia Amor, she's shown you what she can do on the floor. Oh, Hassett leaves it just short, got it on the second chance. But the fact that she could come in and be that ambassador for Kenny Brooks as he tries to rebuild this Kentucky team, that is huge too, being a leader.
I think it was important for Georgia Amor when she came into Kentucky not to just come in right away and say, you're going to respect me and what I do, but she let it happen organically. She gave respect to the players that were there. She really worked on developing a relationship with this team so that they would trust her. And after you've had a conversation with Georgia Amor, you can understand why. It did not take long for things to come together in Lexington.
So Clara Silva was just whistled for her second personal. So now 2 of their big post players, Clara Strack and Clara Silva, have 2 fouls. Strack picking up her 2 in the first quarter.
Well, Kenny Brooks is still in some minutes of rest for Georgia Amor.
And Peyton Verhulst wide open. They have so much confidence in her to keep shooting the basketball, even though she started this game 3 for 9, 0 for 4 from 3.
Tamari Key's working hard on that baseline.
Silva at the free throw line.
Luxury to have at 6'7". Got that face up. She and Beers are battling inside.
And Reagan Beers, her first field goal of the game.
And Reagan Beers transferring in from Oregon State. And she's had to play her way into Oklahoma shape, getting up and down the floor, but she has done that now, ready to go the distance for the Sooners.
Takeaway by Scott. And free throws coming. Well, Kentucky has dropped 40 so far on the road. They're up 40-29 here in the second quarter.
For Florida. She's a freshman, y'all. We got a long time to get to watch her play.
Coming up on Thursday, too, this rivalry continues at UConn and Tennessee, a new-look Tennessee team. I'm really interested to see that battle.
Yeah, Tennessee brings pressure full court for 40 minutes. They try to turn you over. They also are not shy about shooting the three-point shot. So seeing them and Connecticut go head-to-head, that's going to be really fun on Thursday.
Yeah, a 6:30 start time Eastern on Thursday. So write it down. Coach Harper mentioned it. This Kentucky team has come out on the road and shooting over 60% from the field. They ended the first quarter shooting 75%.
Well, she said that they cooled off. Yeah. I'd like my shooting to cool off to 64.
Same. No shot, offensive foul.
That's on Silva. That's her third.
Yeah, it is. 3 on Silva. Clara Strack is on the bench with 2. And Silva's still out there right now with 3.
Amelia Hassan's on the bench over there with 2 as well.
Kentucky does not have a lot of depth. I mean, if you're Oklahoma, now just go at Silva, right?
Yeah,
she got to be careful.
But Silva's playing aggressive. Oh, 3-second call.
3 seconds and a late call for the Sooners. And for the Sooners, number 3, Zaya Van.
Reagan Beers does command her space, but she's still there. Yeah, I think that was a good call by the officials. How many miles Georgia Amore runs in a game, because she is in constant motion while she's on the floor.
That's going to be against Lexi Blue, her first.
Lexi Blue, first personal, team number 4.
And Oklahoma's getting to the free throw line, and most importantly, they're hitting those free throws today.
90%, 9 of 10 so far in this first half.
Misses the first. Coming up next here on the SEC Network, our women's quadruple header will be capped off with number 5 Texas and Texas A&M in College Station. Game time 6 Eastern, 5 Central. Madison Booker in the conversation for SEC Player of the Year, you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Number 35 for the Texas Longhorns. 3-level scorer, rebounder, do it all.
She was on Sarah Spain's podcast this week talking about how she had to play the point guard position last year when Rory Harmon went down with an injury and how that's helped her this year. Stolen away by Tiani Keat.
And Reagan Beers has to be careful while she's posting up, and while she's trying to go at Silva, she is spending quite a length of time in the lane. She don't want to get another 3-second call.
Everything's falling for Georgia Amore. 20 points in the first half.
Well, how she can create for herself, stop on a dime, shoot the 3. Yeah, she'll go in that first round of the WNBA draft.
Is her size a concern?
No. I mean, when you look at small players like Becky Hammond, Courtney Vandersloot, if you've got a knack and you have an ability to read, rim read, and really be able to maneuver in ball screens, and you can score, her mind is the most attractive thing, I believe, for the GMs in the W.
Zaya Van was driving to the basket. Oklahoma's going to get to keep it. And, you know, Georgia Amore's been expanding her mind because this season she's been sitting in on the coaches' meetings as they scout opponents. She said, I just want to be a fly on the wall and listen in. And she's understanding even deeper the why. Why are we doing things?
And so when things happen in a game, she's ready to adjust because she already knows what the coaches are thinking.
Deja Lawrence.
Yeah, Deja was coming down in transition, saw Georgia Amor on the wing, kept looking, and Amor relocated. But Lawrence decided to keep it herself.
That's the second on Skylar Van. She'll be replaced by Lexi Keys.
Lexi Keys. Deja Lawrence at the line.
You're just tuning into this ball game. Kentucky came out. They hit 4 threes in the first quarter, shot 75% from the field. They've led by as many as 15 points. They've now already hit 6 threes.
On the 6 threes have come from 2 players. Georgia Amor is 4 of 6 from 3, and Deja Lawrence is 2 of 4. We talked to Georgia Amor about Deja Lawrence shooting. She just lights up. She said she's a sniper.
Yeah, I love that. I want to be a sniper.
Number 5, Sahara Williams, shooting 2.
Sahara Williams has been carrying the load offensively for Oklahoma. 16 points, 5 of 8 from the field to start. Season high is 19.
In the Wildcats, number 4, Lexi Blue.
Oklahoma bringing the full court pressure. This was beneficial in the fourth quarter against LSU.
Allowed them to cut down on a 24-point deficit, eventually cut it to 1.
But a lot of times teams will put a press on, not necessarily to take it away from you or get the steal, but take time off the clock, and it also wears you down. It's exhausting to have to go against a press.
Amor, a rare miss. She's 4 of 7 from 3. Inside to Reagan Beers. And that is the 4th foul on Clara Silva.
Kentucky foul number 17, Clara Silva, 4th personal.
Kentucky left her out there because Clara Strack's got 2 fouls and Amelia Hassett has 2 fouls.
When Reagan Beers gets 2 feet in the paint, you got to work and continue to move your feet there.
You see a foul there?
Well, I didn't see that she broke the principle of verticality, but the officials must have seen something I missed. Lindsay Hicks trying to explain to her, when you get posted up on Reagan Beers before the ball comes in, you've got to release and move your feet, get around. Tiani Key will have the responsibility to guard her. She's got 2 fouls.
A small lineup here for Kentucky with Tiani Key playing inside. Lawrence found herself wide open, but misses.
Georgia Amor.
Williams misses. We've got double fouls called between Tiani Key and Reagan Beers.
Let's see this again. Both players had their arms entwined.
Kentucky number 7, Tiani Key, her 3rd personal. Oklahoma number 52, Reagan Beers, her 2nd personal.
I think second on Beers and the 3rd on Key. Kentucky foul trouble is going to be a problem.
I think both players were guilty in that instance. I think they were wrapping each other's arms and got entangled, both holding each other. I think the officials had no choice but to call that a double foul.
In for the Sooners, number 0, Beatrice Culleton. In for the Wildcats, number 32, Amelia Hassett.
So right now for Kentucky, Kentucky. Tiani Key has 3. Claire Strack has 2 fouls. Clara Silva has 4, and Amelia Hassett has 2.
I think Kenny Brooks just wants to survive this half without anybody else picking up any more fouls. Smart by Georgia Amore. Use as much of the clock as possible.
They'll swing it to Lexi Blue in the corner. Kentucky basketball. They call a foul against Peyton Verhulst, her first.
Verhulst diving for the basketball. Felt like she had taken Deja Lawrence off her feet.
There's 1.4 second difference between the shot clock and the game clock.
Kentucky doesn't want to go too soon.
They're 0 for their last 4. Lexi Keys almost had a bacon. Got some double-figure scores in the first half. Georgia Amore just dropped 20 points in the first half, the 3rd time she has done that, and Kentucky leads at the break 45-36. Back to Peter Burns and Kelly Harper in the studio.
Thank you, Courtney. Just a little casual 20-piece on the road. How about it?
In black, because she was red hot in that first half.
How do you limit her touches? What do you do?
Well, you could look at doing some box and one, or whoever's guarding her can't let her touch it. Once she gives it up, you cannot allow her to get it back.
Kentucky does have some foul trouble that they're dealing with. Deja Lawrence taking the shot from the baseline. Clara Strack is out there with 2 fouls. Tiani Key has 3, and Clara Silva already has 4 fouls. Speaking of fouls, there's an offensive foul. That's against Sahara Williams, who was the leading scorer for Oklahoma in the first half with 17 points.
Sahara Williams, I think that it was the arm. The little push off with the arm is what the officials saw and called her for the offensive foul.
Strack kicks out over to Hassett. They're okay with her taking that shot. Kentucky started this game 6 for 9 from 3.
They got 3 players on their team that have made more than 45 threes this season. Hassett's made 45 coming into this game. Lawrence had 50, and Georgia Amore made 47.
They're the only team that can say that. Sahara Williams is having one of her best games. That ties her season high with 19 points now.
I think she was inspired with how she played against LSU and showing that she can compete with one of the best teams in the country against the best in the country. And I think as a sophomore, her confidence is going to continue to build.
Now, Jenny Baranchek was challenging her to finish her shots better. She's doing that today. Oklahoma gets a stop, but then gives it right back to Kentucky. 10 turnovers now. And Kentucky's got 15 points off of turnovers.
Running in transition, that's something normally that you would be saying about Oklahoma, but Kentucky has been able to run the floor extremely well today.
Second field goal of the day for Reagan Beers.
But Strack exercised discipline there and did not pick up a 3rd foul.
7-point lead for Kentucky. They've led by as many as 15.
I like that shot by Keys, but you've got to have a rebounder inside. Hassett was down low, but didn't go for it.
Raina Scott on the wing. Third straight start for her today. Verhulst found a way to cut to the basket. She's got 8.
But what is Oklahoma doing? Going in the paint instead of settling for the three-point shot.
They average 42 paint points a game. Skylar Van bailed out her teammate there, and Oklahoma has cut the Kentucky lead to 3. 8-2 run, Sooners. Van drives to the elbow, 8-0 run. Oklahoma within 1.
Instead of settling for the three-point shot, Oklahoma had a steady diet of points in the paint. Peyton Verhulst with the backdoor cut, the patience, the finish, just chipping away for the Sooners. Big to get them back in this game.
Oklahoma, it runs in the family. Basketball in the genes. Starting with Nevaeh Tot, their point guard, is the daughter of Helen Darling, who was the Big Ten Player of the Year and toured up in the WNBA. Peyton Verhulst's mom, Robin, played at Duke. Her dad also played basketball in college. And then Skylar and Zaya Van, their dad, played at Oklahoma under Billy Tubbs in 92 and 93. But my favorite is Grandma Jessie Woods, who set an Oklahoma single-game record of 58 points in a high school game. That's Beatrice Culleton's grandma.
A 50-piece in high school.
Let's go.
I mean,
how has Oklahoma gone on this run?
in the paint. You know, in the first 2 quarters, the first quarter only 6 points, second quarter 8. It was the reverse for Kentucky. Kentucky was getting 10 points. They have settled for outside shots. Got that one to fall. But Oklahoma on the other end, they had 6 points early in this third quarter from going inside and getting on the glass.
I think that's Amelia Hassett's favorite spot to hit a three-pointer is in the corner. Van misses. Sanaya Tyler. Strack with the offensive rebound with a double team too much. Stolen away by Verhulst.
Strack having to be very disciplined so she doesn't pick up that third foul.
Interception for Strack. Wow. How does she do that?
That's why I say with guarding Georgia Amore, the best way to defend her, you can't let her touch it. She's so crafty with the basketball. She is aware her team needs to get a bucket right here. Little crossover, step back away from the big to create enough space and knock down the 2.
Georgia Amore on track to break the Kentucky single-season assists per game record. Yes, she can share the basketball, but also we've seen that she can score the basketball. I mean, so many facets to her game.
Coming in the SEC games she's had this season, she was averaging almost 21 points a game. Last 5 games, she's had 8.2 assists a game. Just a well-rounded point guard.
22 points, 4 assists today. Zaya Van. Back to Oklahoma. Beers calling for it.
Ooh, that was close. Strack could have picked up her third foul right there.
Clara Strack, her 9th three-pointer on the year.
Watching Strack play, I wanted to compare her to Liz Kitley. And when talking to Kenny Brooks, he said, no, they're nothing alike.
Liz Kitley, an All-American at Virginia Tech. He helped Kenny Brooks take that Virginia Tech program she did to the Final Four in 2023.
Well, and Clara Strack, she has the inside post-up ability. She can shoot the 3, but both she and Georgia Amore talk about her passing ability.
And there she is, passing it over to Sanaya Tyler. 8-0 run for Kentucky. Oklahoma trying to stop it.
Strack is everywhere. That's the second interception in a row.
Couple of steals from Strack. She's got 9 points, 3 rebounds to go with those. Well, it wasn't a fluke. She's so confident in her three-point shot. And Strack ended up on the floor on the other end. Offensive foul against Reagan Beers, her third.
Claire Strack has really spaced the floor extremely well. She is daring Reagan Beers to come out of the paint to guard her. A little pick and pop action. She lines it up, knocks it down from deep at the three-point line.
Will be in the field. And Charlie Cream right now has 10 teams from the SEC entering that field. 5 of them would get to host first and second rounds, meaning they are a top 4 seed. Oklahoma at 16 in the net, Kentucky at 20 in the net.
Yeah, the SEC has just been literally a dogfight all season long with the amount of talent that is coming to this league. The addition of Oklahoma and Texas with the conference realignment. You see what Oklahoma has done, and they have already really faced the top 3 teams in the SEC right now. So the latter part of this season, not that it's going to get easy, because it's not an easy night in the SEC, but the battle is yet to begin for Kentucky. Now they're about to hit the gauntlet on the second half of the season.
Yeah, 6 of their final 9 opponents are ranked when talking about the Kentucky Wildcats. Skylar Vann just picked up her third. Oklahoma used an 8-0 run coming out of the half to catch up to Kentucky, but now the Wildcats on a 12-0 run.
I want a mic on Georgia Amor so that I can listen into the conversations that she's having with Kenny Brooks.
In for the Silvers, number 0, Beatrice Carleton.
You start talking to Kenny Brooks about Georgia Amor, potential WNBA next season. He didn't want any part of it. He's like, nope. I'm not trying to get there just yet. He wants to enjoy every second that he has throughout the rest of her final college season.
Tahara Williams called for the basketball at the elbow. Beatrice Carleton, the kick out to Scott. Oklahoma hasn't had any points in 3.5 minutes. 5 seconds on the shot clock. And they turned it over. That's their 5th turnover in this half.
That was pretty basketball. Ball movement, just Hassett wasn't able to knock it down, but unselfish by the Wildcats.
And then Hassett goes back on the other side, gets the block.
And that's terrific bounce back by Hassett. You come down, you miss a 3. You could hang your head, but no. Amelia Hassett hustles down to the other end and gets the stop for Big Blue Nation.
Well, Kentucky's the only team in Division I with 2 players averaging 1.9 blocks per game.
Claire Strack just adding to her block statistic.
Strack and Key are the top 2 shot blockers in the SEC.
Yeah, Tamari Key has been quiet today, only 2 points.
And Tiani Key has really come into her own after transferring in from North Carolina for this Kentucky team.
Kentucky kind of cooled off from the 3-point line.
Run for Kentucky right now. Okay. You want more, you get more. 5 3-pointers for Georgia Amor. Response, the freshman, Zaya Vann. That ends a 5-minute scoring drought.
Now Oklahoma's going to have to buckle down defensively. They got to learn they got to figure out a way to slide this woman down right here.
Tiani Key, offensive rebound. That puts her over the 20-point mark for Sahara Williams.
Sahara Williams has brought the energy for the Oklahoma Sooners since this game started. She got the basketball and went coast to coast all the way in. Not only got the finish, but gets to the free throw line.
A new career high for her, 21 points.
Sahara Williams, one shot.
The success that Oklahoma has had in the early part of this season, this is a player I feel like has taken it to heart and wants more. She's not gotten complacent, just what they've accomplished, demonstrating what they could have done against LSU. She's playing hungry.
She was a McDonald's All-American and a Jordan Brand Classic participant out of high school. Amor caught that with her toes on the line.
Even when she screws up or makes a mistake, she still has that smile on her face. She's got that next play mentality, Georgia Amor.
Meanwhile, after not scoring for 5 minutes, Oklahoma's on a 6-0 run. Oh, Burles had a good look at it.
Smart by Williams. Get set and get a good shot to end this quarter.
Nevaeh Tot looking to feed Williams inside, got a little too deep. And now Kentucky can take the final shot of the quarter.
Good discipline to recognize you don't want to shoot it too soon to give Oklahoma another attempt.
But instead they turn it over. 1.6 for Oklahoma.
Make sure that you're covering number 12 in white, Peyton Verhulst.
As into the third quarter, our score, Kentucky Wildcats 63.
So a 5-minute scoring drought for Oklahoma in that third quarter, but they end on a 6-0 run. 10 minutes to go here in Norman. 5 3-pointers, and Sahara Williams, a career-high 22 points in this game. 10 minutes to play. Oklahoma was able to cut Kentucky's lead to 1 in the third quarter, but then they went on a 5-minute scoring drought.
Well, and Reagan Beers had to go to the bench. She had picked up her third foul. She's back on the floor now. Kentucky going to a 2-3 zone, trying to clog the paint and not allow the ball to come inside to Beers.
Zaya Van, 2 for 2 from 3.
The freshman, she's continuing to grow up before our very eyes.
9-0 run, Sooners. Tiani Key corrals it, 10 seconds. Hassett will take it at the top of the key. And that'll be a fourth against Tiani Key.
Fourth personal, team number 1.
Kentucky's got Key and Clara Silva with 4 fouls. Amelia Hassett has 3.
That's why Kentucky's sitting in this zone. It's almost like a triangle in 1, maybe? Triangle in 2. Got to get a hand up on Verhulst.
If not, she'll do that right there. 12-0 run. Wow. 6 3-pointers for Georgia Amor. By the way, her career high is 8 threes in a game.
Just the patience of Kentucky. They knew exactly who they wanted to take the shot, because Gianni Key could have scored inside, but waited for Amor to be available at the 3.
Keep the count going. 7 threes. Georgia Amor.
Georgia Amor knows exactly what the Wildcats need. When they need to extend the lead, when they need to a bucket, she says, hey, call my number inside to come back out. And then in transition, Georgia Amor, her 7th 3 of the day, red hot for the Kentucky Wildcats.
Play brought to you by Southwest Airlines. She has tied her season high with 7 3-pointers.
She's got 31 points.
Yep.
31 points tonight, and she has been what Kentucky has needed. When they needed an answer for a bucket, Kenny Brooks knew he could call the number of his point guard, number 3, Georgia Amor.
Southwest Airlines big flex play. You know, in Southwest you get 2 free check bags. She has 1 for her points and 1 for her assists.
I think she could get an additional bag with how she's played today. But what has Oklahoma out of the timeout? What do they do immediately? Go inside. They're going to attack the paint, try to get quick points against Kentucky, and once they score, I wouldn't be surprised if they bring the press.
Oh, wow. Reagan Beers came out to help on Amor. Was it a hedge? I couldn't see because the official, but Clara Strack was open in the basket. Beers on the other end.
Just 2 at a time, no panic from Oklahoma.
They were able to erase a 24-point deficit on Thursday, but couldn't finish the job against LSU. They've trailed by 17 today.
You know, we were talking during the timeout, how good is this Kentucky team? Well, if they're able to shoot the 3, weather the storm through the foul trouble that they have, this is going to be a team to reckon with in the SEC tournament.
New season high for her, for Georgia Amor with 33.
She's just so hard to defend off the bounce. The rotation is late, and when you rotate against Kentucky, Amor's able to read it, so you either stop her or you're going to give up a 3. Clara Strack really has adjusted her defense. You saw her go straight up to block that shot on Reagan Beers. Both hands, 2 hands going up.
Well, she's had to. She picked up 2 fouls in the first quarter. Everything is falling for Georgia Amor.
That's just nasty. Amor can get it done.
35 points. Her career high's 39. Williams. Second 3 today. Puts her at 25.
Williams said not so fast.
Meanwhile, on this side of the floor, Kentucky's hit its last 5 shots. Tyler gets in the passing lane. Swatted by Peyton Verhulst.
Not giving up on the play. Peyton Verhulst tracks it down, times it perfectly, catches it in the air, sends it out of bounds.
Kentucky is cruising from 3-point range. 13 threes. It's the 8th time this season they've had double figures. Strack has had 15 points in this half.
Clara Strack, with the ability at 6'5" to shoot the 3 consistently, will open up the paint for the Wildcats.
That's the 3rd foul on Strack. Catch and shoot for Skylar Vann on the inbounds.
Now Kentucky doesn't have to be in a hurry. They can use clock.
They swing it to Deja Lawrence in the corner. 14 threes.
Moving the basketball. They got confidence in each other from the 3-point line.
Skylar Van's got confidence too. Remember, the co-Big 12 Player of the Year last year.
Now, this is what we've been waiting for. Expected this to be the whole entire game. They saved it for the fourth quarter.
14 threes for Kentucky, 6 for Oklahoma. And a blocking foul on Skylar Van.
Sooners foul number 24.
Her fourth.
Fourth personal, team number 1. Zaya Van, number 3. The Sooners.
I think Skylar Van, she lost her balance there and then called. This is a little bit of a trip up on Tiani Key.
Colleton checks in to replace Reagan Beers.
Also in for the Sooners, number 0, Beatrice Colleton.
Keep an eye on Georgia Amore, the inbounder.
Strack in trouble as Zaya Van picks her pocket.
Ball security is going to be key down the stretch this last 4.5 minutes.
And an offensive foul on the screen. It's on Peyton Verhulst, her second.
Verhulst on the dribble handoff, spins into Amore, gets called for that moving screen.
Oklahoma's got Sahara Williams and Reagan Beers waiting to check in as Amore slides into the front row.
Zaya Van, number 3 in white, has turned up her defense on Georgia Amore, and she's just a freshman.
Just a little flip up. It's so casual. She's now 2 points away from tying her career high. Keys in transition. And that's going to be the 5th on Tiani Key. So she is fouled out of this game. Just 2 points tonight for Tiani Key, whose average is about 12 points a game.
Kenny Brooks has got a decision to make. Does he go with size with Sila, or does he go with Tyler with another guard on the floor? I think that rebounding is going to be key, and he goes with Sila.
Clara Silva checking in now. She picked up 4 fouls in the first half.
She's going to have to play discipline against Reagan Beers.
And about his last touch for the Sooners.
Deja Lawrence now setting up the offense for Kentucky. Georgia Amore in the bottom corner.
I think it's an opportunity for Amore to get a little rest. She's been having to do so much, and Deja Lawrence is very capable of running the team.
Third foul whistled against Peyton Verhulst on that play. 3:16 showing on the clock. Kentucky has led by as many as 17 today. Oklahoma has not led in this ball game. The Wildcats came out hot. They shot 75% from the field in the first quarter. Now shooting 50%.
Oklahoma cannot allow on a missed shot from Kentucky. They've got to rebound it.
6 seconds. Elevating at the free throw line is Deja Lawrence, 14 points. Beers posting up, and she gets the damage, so the free throw coming. 4 fouls on Strack.
Beers just commanding the paint. She owns her space. That's what you talk. That's what you do when you talk about doing your work early. Reagan Beers textbook post up.
Points for Beers.
Brianna Jones, that played for the Connecticut Sun, plays the same way. Beers has got to have a spot in the WNBA when she gets there.
That's Anaya Tyler travel. Silva back in the game for Kentucky.
Kentucky doesn't have to be in a hurry. Clock management is going to be ultra important these last 2 minutes.
Warhols threw it away. Claire Strack's had 3 steals here in the second half.
That was smart for Strack to pick up her dribble there and not turn it over.
Kentucky trying to eat up that clock. Looking for a 4th ranked win this season. And Deja Lawrence in trouble. Zaya Van grabbed it. She was already on the floor. Beers cleaning it up. Give her 16 points now. 9 rebounds.
Can Oklahoma turn Kentucky over?
Foul on Zaya Van. Don't forget, coming up next at the top of the hour on the SEC Network, our quadruple header capped off with Texas and Texas A&M. The Longhorns, the number 5 team in the nation. That game being played in College Station. 6 Eastern, 5 Central, coming up in about less than 20 minutes. We'll get you there when we're done here.
Texas A&M can turn up their defense. Remember, they're a team that knocked off these Kentucky Wildcats. A defensive plan by Joni Taylor. Can they slow down the Longhorns?
What hurts, though, is Aisha Coulibaly out for the Texas A&M Aggies.
I think Lauren Ware is going to be important. Kelly Harper was talking about her post presence inside.
And that's the 5th on Skylar Van. So she will take a seat. 11 points for Skylar Van, 5 rebounds, 4 assists.
Both teams in the bonus.
Yeah, so 2 free throws coming on any foul by either team. Georgia Amore is at the line right now. She leads Kentucky, shooting 88% from the free throw line.
Kentucky's got 3 timeouts. Oklahoma has 2.
They will not take a timeout here and advance the ball. They like to push in transition. And now they'll get 2 free throws. And that's the 5th on Clara Strack. 52.8 on the clock. foul trouble early in the first quarter, but 15 of her 19 points coming here in the second half. She and Tiani Key have fouled out for Kentucky. Skylar Vann has fouled out for Oklahoma. So if you're Oklahoma, how are you playing this after this free throw?
I'm going to press right away. And you got to go for a steal. If you don't get the steal, I foul it. But Kentucky's going to call a timeout and advance the ball.
So now Oklahoma's got to foul immediately, you think?
Oh, absolutely. We want to extend this game as long as possible with both teams
Of the season. And back-to-back ranked wins, if they can do it. They just are coming off a win over number 22 Alabama.
And I think that a win here in Oklahoma is key for Kentucky. They're sitting in that 4th spot in the SEC. You want to get that double bye through the tournament.
So they give Amor the basketball. She's their best free throw shooter. That's who you want taking them if you're the Cats.
Yeah, she shoots 88% from the free throw line.
She is 1 point away from tying her career high.
And Oklahoma still has 2 timeouts remaining, so Jenny Baranczyk on a make or a miss on a rebound, she can call the timeout and advance the ball.
39 points for Georgia Amor, tying a career high. Missed a second. Oklahoma favoring to run instead of call the timeout. 5 on Clara Silva.
Kentucky foul number 17, Clara Silva from Midford.
So now 3 players for Kentucky have fouled out.
Number 4, Lexi Blue. Into the Sooners, number 2, Raina Scott.
And Silva's got to learn. I mean, she's 6'7". She's got position in the reach. No need to foul right there.
Oklahoma down 10. It's a time left, 43.8, and they've got 2 timeouts. Sahara Williams gets the first free throw.
Kentucky still has 2 timeouts. So I'd imagine that Kenny Brooks is going to advance the basketball again.
Timeout, Kentucky.
I'm going to put at the line.
Hassett will inbound. So it'll be Sanaya Tyler shooting the free throws.
Sooners, number 6, Sahara
83% free throw shooter. Has not attempted one today.
And Oklahoma still, they have those 2 timeouts. They were able to go down and score quickly last possession and get to the free throw line.
Back to a 10-point lead for Kentucky. And Oklahoma will immediately foul Sanaya Tyler. We talked to Jenny Baranczyk about the end of the LSU game where she didn't call timeout. She loves how quickly they can go in transition rather than calling the timeout and advancing the ball and having to inbound it again.
Well, and Zaya Vann, who was in the game in pushing the ball down transition, she ended up fouling out, but she had a lot of confidence, and she did not have Nevaeh Tot available. She was under the weather as well, and so she had a lot of confidence in pushing the ball in transition, and she said that she did like how fast they could push and the ability to shoot the 3.
So now they will call timeout. They'll have 1 remaining and advance the basketball with 35.1 on the clock, down by 10.
That's still a lot of time with 35 seconds, and especially
Oklahoma has got Ole Miss coming up next, but right now just focused on this game. It would be a 4th ranked win for them too if they could pull this comeback off.
now Kentucky has to be disciplined and not foul a 3-point shooter. They went right away inside for a quick 2.
Oklahoma bringing the pressure. They got a foul. Georgia Amor has got the chance to hit 40 points.
She has had one heck of a night. 15 of 22 from the floor, 7 of 12 from the three-point line, and 8 assists.
A new career high for Georgia Amor, 40 points. It's the first 40-point game in Kentucky history since Ryan Howard had 40 in January of 2020. Seventh all-time 40-point game in Kentucky history. Count the bucket.
I can understand now why Jenny Baranczyk does not use those timeouts to advance it. When you can go that quickly, attack the basket. That's a three-point. That's as good as a three-point shot, a three-point play. If Vane can knock this down at the free throw line. Kentucky still has one timeout left.
Three-point play for the freshman. Kentucky uses its final timeout, and they will advance the ball. Oklahoma still has one timeout. Just able to get it right back to who they want, shooting those free throws in Amor.
Well, the smart thing that Kenny Brooks does with Georgia Amor is puts her the furthest away from the basketball so that she can come to it. She has room to work to get herself free.
.42 points.
Oklahoma still has one timeout.
43 for Amor. Oklahoma won't use the timeout. That's going to be Kentucky basketball. 18.1 on the clock.
And now Oklahoma still, they got to defend full court. Once Kentucky gets the ball in, you got to foul right away.
They call a foul on Kentucky.
That's a good break for Oklahoma.
Kentucky number 10, Deja Lawrence.
Deja Lawrence. 18.1 on the clock. Oklahoma down 9.
You got to watch Peyton Verhulst, the inbounder. Give it up. She gets it in, and then give it right back to her.
Williams trying to Zaya Vant. Back up and in. 10.3. Oklahoma's got a foul. Fourth on Beers, 8.8 on the clock.
May not be a bad foul. Lexi Blue shoots 67% from the free throw line. One of the things that Kenny Brooks told us about the SEC is teams don't go away. He's had leads in several of the SEC games, but you cannot rest on your laurels because these teams are going to constantly come at you.
We're under review to check the fouler.
Double check to see who committed the foul. I thought it was Reagan Beers.
It was clear. Yeah, right on. I guess also maybe checking to make sure they've got the right shooter.
And the right time on the clock. They can check all those things.
Fouler, number 4, shooting 2 shots.
Nothing like breaking the concentration of the freshman to go check to make sure she's the right shooter.
Lexi Blue at the line, shooting 2.
to a 9-point lead. It's going to be Oklahoma ball with 1.3 on the clock. Kentucky has had to weather early foul trouble in this game, but they packed their shot on their very first trip to Norman, Oklahoma. 14 made three-pointers tonight. And at the buzzer, Verhulst misses. Kentucky, a fourth-ranked win of the season, and they've won 4 straight against Oklahoma.
I think this is big for Kentucky to come to Oklahoma and win on the road with the gauntlet of the rest of the SEC. They've got to face this season. Getting a road win was huge for them to maintain, staying in that 4th spot.
Georgia Amore, a career-high 43 points, 7 three-pointers. That ties her season high. Oh, yeah, and 8 assists to go along with it. Kentucky back-to-back ranked wins for the Wildcats. 95-86 is your final. Back to Peter and Coach Harper in the studio.